Okay, we're talking about market research, and we're going to discuss some of the topics that are in your textbook and some that are not. And so I hope that all of this will be beneficial to you. I would encourage you to still read the textbook. It's also beneficial to view the videos. I'm going to try to chop these up into shorter videos so that you can um, view them in short time periods and not have to worry about missing something. Understand that life happens, and you may not be able to dedicate an hour to 2 hours at a time, and so we'll have shorter videos, but there'll be more of them consequently. So the first thing that we want to talk about with regards to market research is simply jumping into something without knowing all that you should know. Now, can you know everything? No, you can't always know everything. It is beneficial to plan. However, you can actually overplan to the point where you kind of cripple yourself. You end up not taking action on something, and therefore you miss out on an opportunity. Okay. So it's good. All that to say, it's good to plan, but at some point you have to make a determination. Okay, I have enough information now. I need to put this plan into action. All right, but along with that, uh, if you don't know something and enough, then you can actually be hurt, and that's one point is that what you don't know can hurt you. It is good to gather as much information as you possibly can from a number of sources, and we'll talk about that a little bit later about some sources where you can search for information. Some of this is going to be do your own legwork. Some of it's going to be getting others to help you, but wherever it comes from, it can be beneficial. It may be that you don't realize how it's going to help you at the time that you're gathering it, and it may be some that you ended up discarding along the way. But it's good to take in as much data, as much information as you can. Okay. One of the first things that you should do is define what it is that your business is going to be doing. What is the product or service that you want to offer? And that actually should come from what problem are you trying to solve? Okay, this is sort of a step in a previous week maybe that had been covered. But what problem are you trying to solve? And then how are you going to go about solving that problem for someone, and hopefully in a better way than your competitors are. Okay, so instead of there was a video that I posted about individuals that have great skill in the field of technology, and they try to take it and say, what can we do with this? We have this knowledge. What can we do? Instead of saying there's a problem out there, what technology do we need to solve that problem? Okay, there's sometimes you end up coming up with solutions that no one really wants, and so it's better to find out, is this really a need? Does someone want this problem solved, or is there a better way to go about it? And if the current ways are sufficient, and it's really all, I'm a big proponent of innovation, creativity, change, but sometimes change for the sake of change is pointless. Not sometimes, it is pointless. So trying to make something happen that is not there, spinning your wheels, can be a waste of time and money, and it can be very frustrating, not only to you as the owner, the business owner, but also to any employees that you have, thinking that the ownership doesn't really see what the problem is. So it's better to go ahead and clearly define that, and say, is this a problem that truly needs to be solved? You may have heard the example of Henry Ford. If Henry Ford listened to customers, they would, what customers said, instead of a automobile, instead of a car, they wanted faster horses, or maybe with that a carriage that was more aerodynamic, or some way of getting them from point A to point B faster. So if he listened to his customers, that's what he would have worked on instead of the automobile. Now, Henry Ford was not the first one to develop an automobile, so I'm not sure how much truth there is in that statement. He did perfect the assembly line for automobiles, though, and so it's related in some way. But that all that to say that you have to understand what your clients want, and inject some creativity and innovation as well, certainly. But you have to understand, is this change going to be accepted? Are they going to want this? And the best way to do that is by doing some market study, some market research, and that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's move along to our next topic. One of the best ways that you can utilize market research, or the way that you go about gathering market research, is just on your own. As a potentially as a small startup business, you're going to have to approach this a lot differently than how a large business with large marketing budgets would approach it. Okay, one of the things I tell people all the time is to observe the world around you, see what's going on, and say, that seems to be it seems to be a problem there. And that's one of the reasons that I've had you guys doing the blog book, is to try to be observant of what problems are out there, and something, see if there's a way that you might can solve a problem. Is there something that can be done? If not, maybe that's the answer. There may be a way to solve the problem, and you just haven't thought of it enough, or you haven't brought in the right people to help determine what can be done to solve that problem. But just simply observing the world around you. I had someone tell me many years ago, when he was a banker, and he would when looking at different competitors, he would go out and look at oil stains in parking places, and that would help him get an idea of how many cars were visiting a given location. And if someone came to him looking for a loan, then he would have some data. He would know, how many cars are visiting this location, how many are visiting this particular business, how many individuals are visiting their competitors, similar unrelated businesses. But we talked about indirect competitors a couple of weeks ago. So maybe there's some service or some product that is an indirect competitor, and he would get out and study this information. And as a banker, that was something he needed to know. He does not need to just lend out money to anyone and everyone that needs it. That's bad business. And so these people that are people that you will eventually be going to seeking this capital, if they're doing their job, they know these things. They know who's doing what. They know how much business. They're connected in the community. They're very well networked, and so you're going to have to do the things that have to be done to stay one step ahead of them. And a lot of that requires time and effort put out on your part. All right. Okay, but we're talking about making use of your surroundings. Making use of your surroundings, observing the world around you. What is going on. Document those things. Carry around a notepad, or a voice recorder, or something. As you're driving down the road, make a quick note. Pull over on the side of the road. Type it in your phone, a note to yourself, so you'll remember when you get back home or to wherever your destination is. Document what you see, and any thoughts that you may have that you think you might not recall later, and try to make determinations about what you can do about it. Okay, we're going to stop this video just to keep it brief.